Hey guys, welcome to She Knows Arsenal. We're going to be going through all the most recent Arsenal news and transfer news. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and always get into the comments section and let me know what you think. Remember, there are chapters in the description box. If there's something specific you want to look at or listen to, then you can just fast forward straight to that. But of course, I'd prefer you to watch the entire show if you can. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get started. The Declan Rice bid is imminent. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Arsenal's official bid for Declan Rice will arrive after the Europa Conference League final. West Ham are in that final, obviously, blah, blah, blah. You guys understand that. And to be fair, he's tweeted that every day for like the last 5 days. You can already tell that Fabrizio Romano wants to be the main character of this story. Yeah.
Not great.
Declan Rice will prioritize a move in the Premier League versus going to the Bundesliga. We know that Bayern Munich are very interested in the player to a point where it feels like they're almost obsessed. Like the German media, the Bayern Munich media is like completely infatuated with Declan Rice, which makes me a little bit uneasy. But Arsenal lead the race with an offer of £90 million set to go in, which would be a record fee for Arsenal. That is a lot of moolah. Mikel Arteta wants the club to focus on the Declan Rice transfer above everything else. We know he's our priority signing, blah, blah, blah. I hope that Edu has his barbecue ready to go. The coals going hot.
Hot.
Get that barbecue going. Get cooking, because this deal needs to get done quickly. Not only because we have other deals that need to get done. Obviously, Arsenal need to have a massive summer off of the back of the title challenge, and everybody else is going to be spending, blah, blah, blah. But there are going to be other top teams kind of lurking in the background to hijack the deal. But from your guys' perspective, what do you think is going to happen with Declan Rice? Do you think that he will sign for Arsenal, somebody else? Let me know. Has Zhao Cancello rejected Arsenal? Zhao Cancello doesn't want to play for Arsenal. He doesn't. He doesn't want to play for Arsenal. He doesn't want to play for Man City. In fact, he doesn't want to play for anyone in England. He's done with that. Manchester City are ready to sell Zhao Cancello. If you guys remember, he was at Manchester City before the January transfer window this past season, and he was loaned out to Bayern because I don't know, him and Pep got into it. Who knows? But he will return from Bayern with the 70 million euro buy option not being triggered. Bayern, I think they're interested in bringing him in, but not for the price. I mean, 70 million euros is a lot, even for a player of his level. And as we know, Zhao Cancello is one of the names on Arsenal's list. We've been linked to him this summer, and it's a pretty easy link to make. I mean, Mikel Arteta has worked with him at Manchester City, all that kind of stuff. He's a top player, but should Arsenal continue to buy ex-Manchester City players? I've seen this on the timeline quite a bit. Does it show a lack of identity, an inferiority complex in some ways? Jesus and Zinchenko have helped Arsenal become title contenders, but can you beat Pep with players that Pep didn't want? I mean, it's a good question. I think it's a good question. When City were on the rise, they bought Arsenal players, Sanya, Nasri, and also Clichy. So we know that stylistically, there's always an overlap between Arsenal, Manchester City, Barcelona. We've seen this before. But once Pep and City got settled, they started to create their own identity. And Pep started bringing in players that didn't play for Arsenal. And I think Mikel Arteta kind of has to do the same thing. Earlier on in Arteta's tenure, I felt like I understood what an Arteta player is, but I'm kind of thinking, is an Arteta player just a Man City player? I'm not sure. So his identity needs to shine through in this transfer window, I think, because I do have a feeling that you can get close to City with City players, but you can't get beyond them. You need to do something different. And if anybody knows how to beat Pep Guardiola, it should be Mikel Arteta, right? He was there for quite a bit of time and he knows Pep quite well. But from your guys' perspective, I want to know what you think. Do you think Arsenal should stop buying Manchester City players, move on from that? Or do you think that they're good assets to have because they tend to be really good players? Let me know. Is Balogun's future at the Diego Maradona Stadium? All right, so Arsenal striker Folarin Balogun is leaning towards leaving on a permanent basis, which I think a lot of us kind of already knew, right? The final decision rests with Arsenal, and Balogun has 2 years left on his current deal. He scored 20 league goals for Reims on loan. He's had a fantastic season. I think all of us kind of know that. And Napoli have identified Balogun as a potential Osimhen replacement, which is really, really interesting. So I guess the question is, if Folarin Balogun is good enough to replace Victor Osimhen at Napoli, potentially, then why would Arsenal sell? He's clearly a good player that's had a really good season, so why would Arsenal let an asset like that go? My thoughts on this are that I feel like people just ignore the fact that the reason why Balogun is potentially leaving on a permanent basis is not because Arsenal do not want him. It's because he wants to start games. He has spent the entire season on loan and has gotten a taste of the big life, He's gotten a taste of being a starter and being the star. And if he comes back to Arsenal, the reality is he's not going to be a starter. He's going to be a rotational option. And that's a downgrade for him in his career right now. And so he ends up being the most sellable asset from an Arsenal perspective. I've heard the I'd rather have Balogun over Nketiah conversation, but I think that completely removes the context around why Folarin Balogun is potentially leaving on a permanent deal. I think what's more important in all of this is, can we get a decent fee? Arsenal look to be trying to sell Folarin Balogun for somewhere around £30 million, which from my perspective is a pretty fair fee. But I want to know what you guys think. Would you sell Folarin Balogun? And if you would, how much do you think he goes for? This headline might bring back some painful memories, but let's go after it. Arsenal and Chelsea fight it out for a French striker. All right, Arsenal and Chelsea are both interested in 19-year-old Montpellier striker Elye Wahi. Arsenal is said to be in pole position to sign the player and are about to make an offer. How many times have you guys heard that? About to make an offer, offer imminent, offer coming, offer being drawn up, offer being mailed out, offer being written. Just let me know when the offer has gone in, But Chelsea also want to play a little bowly ball and hijack the deal with a bigger offer. So his price tag looks to be around 30 million euros, 35 million euros. And Wahi had an impressive 17 goals and 5 assists this season. He even scored 4 goals in 15 minutes against Lyon, which is impressive. That's very impressive. But I don't put too much stock in Ligue 1. You guys, if you don't know, I just don't. I don't put much stock in it. Lacazette has scored 27 goals in that league. No shade, but all the shade, right? I'm more concerned about the profile. Arsenal definitely need a plan B. This has been spoken about a lot on social media, especially off of the back of the end of the season, where I think a lot of Arsenal fans feel like we need a different type of striker, a little bit more pace, a little bit more height, a clinical finisher to give us a different look, especially in Europe. And to avoid the Balogun issue, it needs to be somebody that's, I think, willing to play a squad role. And maybe that's why Arsenal are looking at this player, because they want to replace Balogun in the squad, because they may have been hoping that they could integrate Balogun into this team. So I want to know from your guys' perspective, do you know anything about this kid? Have you ever seen him before? And is he the type of striker that you'd like to see come into Arsenal this summer? The battle for Tierney is well and truly on. Now, this one is going to hurt a little bit. Aston Villa plan to rival Newcastle for the signing of Kieran Tierney this summer, and the left back is expected to leave Arsenal. There was a lot of reports around Kieran Tierney leaving. I mean, this is not something new or something that none of us have heard about, but there was said to have been a meeting at the end of the season where, Arsenal were going to tell Kieran Tierney their plans. And so it looks like Kieran Tierney will leave the Emirates this summer. The good thing is that two teams with money, going after Kieran Tierney means that it'll drive the price right up. But the bad thing is he'll probably cook at either club. Newcastle, the way that they play, more direct, physical, athletic, I think Kieran Tierney replacing Dan Burn is a slam dunk for them. I mean, Kieran Trippier on one side, Kieran Tierney on the other. I mean, doesn't get much better than that, really. And from an Aston Villa perspective, I mean, that's Unai Emery signed Kieran Tierney for Arsenal. So clearly he likes the player. And I think that would be a nice fit for him as well. Eddie Howe wanted to sign Kieran Tierney at Bournemouth. So there's a lot of legs, to these links. And Arsenal want more than £30 million for Kieran Tierney. And I think that's more than a fair price, all things considered. My thoughts are, I love Kieran Tierney. He's always been one of my favorite players, and it's going to suck not seeing him at Arsenal next season. But this is definitely the time to move on from him. Mikel Arteta seems to prefer either the midfield profile or the center back profile in the fullback positions. Whether you like that or not, that's what the manager wants. And Kieran Tierney doesn't necessarily fit either one of those parameters. He's more of like a traditional overlapping attacking fullback, and we don't really use that. As frustrating as Zinchenko may have been defensively, especially towards the back end of the season, he has taken us up quite a few levels, and really Kieran Tierney is not going to beat him out for a position, so selling him is probably the right thing to do right now. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think selling Kieran Tierney to a Premier League rival or a team that's coming up the pecking order, do you think that would be a mistake? Let me know in the comments. All right, you guys, that's it for the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, get in those comments, and let me know what you guys thought about everything that I talked about. Kieran Tierney, Elye Wahi, Declan Rice, Zhao Cancello. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.